If you're a race team and you thought someone else was getting better treatment by officials, what would you do? If you're Kyle Petty, you show up to the track looking exactly like the other guy. This story of Petty protest began at the 1996 Coca-Cola 600. Kyle Petty had lost a lap early and was fighting to get it back. On a lap 151 restart, Petty lined up with the lap-down cars on the inside line and passed Ted Musgrave before Bobby Hamilton spun and brought out a quick caution. For the restart order, NASCAR put Musgrave in front of Petty. Kyle's crew maintained that was a mistake. So on the restart on lap 155, Kyle quickly went to the inside and tried to pass Musgrave.
At front 10 as they were before.
Whoa, we have contact on the front straightaway.
It was Kyle Petty all over the back of the number 16 Musgrave, and that sends the field flying down into turn number 1. I think we've torn up about 6 cars as they came to the line.
You can see Rusty Wallace there in the 2 car. He's torn up. The 33 of Sachs.
There's Musgrave's car. Is that Lake Speed?
Lake Speed,
oh,
yes.
That's a tragedy.
You know, it's 600 miles. I don't know what Kyle's problem was, but, you know, like I say, it was a dumb move, and it shouldn't happen like that. But, hey, you know, it took a lot of good cars out of the race.
After racing back to the line, Petty got his lap back and found himself in the 10th position, but NASCAR didn't approve of Kyle's move. Officials decided to give Kyle a massive 5-lap penalty for rough driving. Penalties at Charlotte were somewhat common. Dale Earnhardt was given a 5-lap penalty in the 1988 Coca-Cola 600 when he wrecked Jeff Bodine. NASCAR was trying to send a message as the Earnhardt-Bodine feud was getting out of hand. In a Busch race in 1991, Earnhardt was parked by NASCAR for spinning Phil Parsons. And in the 1993 Coke 600, he was given a 1-lap penalty when he spun Greg Sachs trying to make up a lap. But NASCAR hadn't given Earnhardt a penalty in several years, and when he bumped cars out of the way, it was considered a racing incident. Sabates climbed over the pit wall and told the official that Earnhardt wouldn't get a penalty for that little bump, and Kyle shouldn't either. To punish Sabates for yelling at the official, Petty was held for another 2 laps. He was now 7 laps down, hopelessly out of contention. Kyle finished 23rd, 9 laps down. After the race, Petty directed all related questions to the NASCAR hauler and compared them to the Wizard of Oz, saying, "Go ask NASCAR. It's a know-all, see-all group. It's Kansas over there. That's where the wizard lives." Felix Sabates went straight to the NASCAR hauler and turned in his credentials, swearing he wouldn't come to another race that year. Sabates repeatedly said that Earnhardt got away with exactly the same. His bump on Bobby Hamilton earlier that year was just as hard as Kyle's was. It shouldn't matter if Ted Musgrave spun or not because it was just a light tap. One was considered a racing incident, the other was over-aggressive driving. Could you get away with anything if you drove a black car? So when Petty's car was taken off the hauler at Dover 5 days later, Sabates had a major surprise for everyone. He had the originally purple and orange car painted exactly like Earnhardt's, and the crew had black shirts on. It was their protest against unequal treatment by arbitrary officials. While Felix wasn't at the track, the car carried a special message from him written in Spanish for NASCAR.
All is fair in love and racing.
After qualifying 1 spot behind Earnhardt, Petty finished 18th. Kyle's car went back to its usual paint scheme 1 week later. But the protest may have worked in a way. NASCAR said they got many letters from angry Petty fans. For the next few years, officials took a step back and stopped making unpopular judgment calls on penalties. Aggressive driving penalties didn't return until 1999, when Jerry Nadeau was penalized 2 laps at Bristol for spinning Dale Jarrett's damaged car while trying to stay on the lead lap. But this, of course, was the same race where Dale Earnhardt spun Terry Labonte on the last lap and wasn't penalized, drawing more criticism towards NASCAR. There has only been a handful of penalties since. There are plenty of reasons for a team to run special paint schemes, for tribute, for nostalgia, or for sponsor reasons. But only once, in this occasion, was a paint scheme ever done in spite.